This is episode 7 of Back to Me.
We are your hosts, Katie and Lisa.
You've started saying that the other way around. I think.
You go back.
No.
I just think I'm just happy to get your name out first because I've listened to myself now that you have a problem with your name. I have now started listening to myself saying your name and I'm like, Katie. Okay, okay, Lisa. Also, I totally forgot to slow down last week.
Oh.
When I promised myself I would slow down, but I felt that I just got into so many stories.
Just be yourself.
Thing is back what we talked about last week, but we must remember people don't listen to last week's.
Yes.
But that was one of the things.
In an alternative podcast.
An alternative podcast, we
one.
talked about things that had terrible advice.
Yeah. We did.
Which got me thinking about things that are said to us as children that are not helpful.
Oh, like if the light is on in the back of the car, that's illegal. Did you know? I believed that as a kid.
I wasn't actually told that one, but to this day, no, well, I have somewhere, and to this day, if it's nighttime and I open the little mirror, remember my mirror? Oh, God, no, that was all. Mirror. So if I said more gently, does that make it better? Mirror. The wee floppy thing. And when you look at yourself, see if you've got your lipstick on in the car.
Okay.
I will say, is it okay if I put the light on? Because I seriously must have got told off about that one.
I think we were told off for, we couldn't have the lights on, and like obviously it was distracting or whatever for my dad, but to the point that it was illegal.
I told my children if they ate more than 4 fish fingers, they'd get mercury poisoning.
You did not?
Mm-hmm. Would you have a guess at why I would tell them that? I have 3 children.
That's a lot of fish fingers. There's only 12 in one packet.
There you go.
Got it.
There you go.
Smart.
There you go.
So I could tell my kids 6.
They still... Yeah, exactly.
They still will only eat 4.
No, they...
No.
One of my daughter's boyfriends was making himself fish fingers, and she said, "You can't eat that many." And he said, "What?" And she said, "Never mind, forget it."
Isn't it funny though, those little things from which I assume you're going to lead into some kind of child trauma thing with me in a minute, but let's think what else.
Just clarify, you did start this conversation. It's not my fault.
I just know
you know
your eyes lit up. I could tell you're very excited. But I did actually, as a parent, I sort of decided that I didn't want to tell mummy lies or parent lies. Mm-hmm. That whole Santa's watching.
You did tell about Santa.
Actually, we do have Santa, and I did tell my 4-year-old oldest boy at one point that Santa wasn't real, but we would pretend that he was, and we would still have him and celebrate. And he went, "Yeah, right. What the?" And ever since, yeah.
Well, we did tell our children that we sent the money to Santa.
Okay.
Because we were just like, that just seems ridiculous. I have to say that I don't think our oldest girl ever really believed.
In this day and age, I think it's harder because everyone's
younger and younger.
Yeah, and everyone's so... People get different amounts of things for Christmas, so why did Santa give you a computer or a peach?
Yes, that was the whole peach. Not but
I never got peach.
Peach. And last week we were talking about bums and peaches, and so maybe that's just still in your head.
Maybe it is.
So... Yes, okay, you keep talking because I have lots to say.
I know, so I want to get through all the silly ones first. Friends that tell their kids that there's no ice cream if the ice cream van is playing its noise.
It
means they're out.
Good one. I really like. So why did I not think of that one?
Yeah, I have tried very hard in my life not to tell them. I'm sure.
What did your mom and daddy tell you? This is. I could just doesn't realize.
They told me it was illegal to turn the lights on in the back of the car.
Apart from that.
Oh, I don't know now. I have a really bad memory. I've blocked it out. I'm just joking. Mum and Dad were great parents.
Surprise, surprise. I was quite a precocious child.
What? Never.
I also... Precocious.
That's well posh.
Mm-hmm. Well, I read it somewhere in a 1940s magazine and it said, "Don't compliment your children, you'll only make them precocious." My parents were born in the 1930s, so they took that to heart.
Oh dear.
So I was precocious. They loved that when I was little. They didn't like it so much when I got
To your teens?
Yeah, more like maybe 9 and 10.
Oh, okay.
And what our parents tell us in those formative years, before 7, life coaching. What people tell us before, she's doing the lights. What people tell us before we're 7. So we call these people experts. So the subconscious will deem this expert to be your mummy, your daddy. It could be somebody that's older than you in school. It could be a teacher. It could be a youth club leader. It could be your priest. It could be your minister. Someone that the subconscious deems as expert status.
Okay.
Okay. And when we said, we should say things like, you're a bit much. You can't say that.
I've heard you say I'm a bit much and things even.
Because it's a limiting belief.
Ah.
So those things that our parents and people, or caregivers in general, say to us to keep us safe, actually keep us small. And when I was training as a life coach, which should have probably taken about 9 months, when that module came up, I had to close the computer for at least 6 weeks. Could not get past that module for love or money.
Interesting.
I identified as my coach, and it said, your thoughts lie to you, and here's why your thoughts lie to you from what your parents have told you about yourself, which is just so terrible.
I could tell you another funny one. Awkward, doesn't know how to deal with the deep and meaningful moment. I grew up in a Pentecostal church.
Yes.
And it is maybe...
explain to people what that is.
That
for thousands of listeners.
Quite for thousands of listeners. It's what people might now describe as a happy clappy church. Is that fair?
No, it's very fair.
People with their arms in the air. And I loved my church and upbringing. But...
like excited. I can't tell you how excited I am right now.
So, in the Bible, there is the rapture, which is when Jesus comes back and takes all the people back.
Look, we talk about the Bible nearly every week.
No, this is only 2 hours, twice. But this is silly.
It's your life.
I was told as a child in Sunday school, whatever, that airlines only allow there to be one Christian pilot at a time.
Actually, get where we were.
So that going. If the rapture happens, that the plane...
This wasn't even in Northern Ireland. This was in England.
So the plane would crash. But do you know what? It was just one of those things was told to me, and so I've just kind of gone through life thinking.
That's shocking. And here's the thing: that's not like I'm talking about things people say to you.
I know you are.
Don't believe it. They believe that.
Yeah. Well, do you not think that your parents believed that they would make you precocious if they...
No, I think my parents just wanted to keep me... I think... Well, do you know what? That person who said that wanted to keep you safe as well. 3 miles from the sky. It's all about keeping you safe.
Is that not the most random, though? But it took me into my adult years to one day sit and think, that's rubbish. Yeah. That obviously is not what happens in airlines.
So that's how it happens. That's how Shirley, our automatic negative thoughts, so I call mine Shirley, and that's why I had to come up with a name for her that I liked. That was the only way I could get through that module. I had to be like, okay, Shirley, you've done a great job protecting me until I was 42.
So Shirley is your negative, but she wasn't protecting you though, right?
Your parents tell you these things, like mercury poisoning. Your parents tell you these things to keep you safe, because my parents would say, you're a bit much, Lisa. Get back in your box. You're a bit much. They didn't want me to embarrass myself. Here and here.
There you go.
Or, even from school reports, Lisa talks too much. And here I am, making my living from talking. Lisa talks too much. Lisa needs to take more time to do her studies. I mean, all that, we've talked about this before, like all that kind of makes me think I'm not a very good reader, and I'm a bit, and it's very difficult for me. It's not. It's just a limiting belief.
And Shirley is the limiting belief.
Shirley's the voice.
She's the voice of the limiting beliefs.
And her foundations are in, look, I've got the hands up and everything. If you're not watching, I really mean it.
She's got all happy coffee church.
Full life coach. I'm doing the pincing my fingers thing. Don't want to point at people. So that's where she originates from.
Okay.
The things that people who loved you told you to keep you safe. I told my children not to travel because it was very dangerous, but that does not work.
Yeah, how's that?
Very disappointing for me. It's very disappointing.
Although these days with all the planes falling out of the sky, it does feel a bit dangerous. Last week there was a plane.
Maybe the rapture came.
There was 2 Christians in the cockpit. It's just terrible.
Why do we keep having people dying? But it's just bad.
That one
So
just...
the rapture is, because I know this from my upbringing as well, that only the Christians would be taken and the non-Christians would be left behind in this horrible world that would be left without Christians in it.
How much better might it be?
Exactly.
The pilots, though, like, at least we've got one to bring all the heathens down to the ground. Why do we care about the heathens? We've gone up to heaven. That's what, I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's completely illogical. Obviously, it's ridiculous.
They believed it is also a bit scary too, isn't it?
It is a bit.
Anyway, it is those things that people tell you. So think about things. Your mum and daddy are lovely. And our mum and daddies are only doing the best that they can. And we will have given our children.
I was going to say, does it scare you a little bit about how... it does sometimes. You sit back and think about the weight of what my influence on my children's lives is.
100%. 100%. 100%. I got a nice compliment from one of my children. They did not get the same results in their exams as their siblings did. This is very difficult. They did not get the same results. They got good enough results, but they didn't get the same results. And this particular child, grown-up child, said to me, "Thank you for celebrating me."
Oh,
even though it wasn't the same. But it was, you made me feel like it was good enough and special, just as special as it was when his siblings knocked it out of the park.
That's lovely.
Surely my automatic negative thoughts are going off now saying, you sound like an absolute pretentious D word. That's what Shirley's going off now saying. Because I was not taught to celebrate myself when I was little.
Okay, so because you've told me a positive story about yourself,
parenting,
Shirley is telling you,
like, get back in your box. You sound ridiculous. Katie doesn't want to know about this, and the people who are listening definitely don't want to know.
I can't speak for them, but I think that's lovely, and I try similar.
And we're so poor in this country at celebrating ourselves.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? No, I think that's really important. Like, both of my children are very different. They're both equally wonderful and brilliant, but they're both very different in personality and academics and things. So we do try our very hardest to celebrate both of their achievements and their different things.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Life coaching.
So what your parents or primary caregivers told you before you were 7. So I know you were joking like I blocked it out, but you don't remember these things.
I'm trying to think of things I can't.
They'll come to you later in the day.
They will later on when
and also when you stop yourself from doing something. So when you stop yourself from doing a podcast, or when you halt yourself, when you don't live to your full potential, if you really work into that, it will come back to a limiting belief that you saw on a TV program even, or you're watching a movie, or you saw someone fail drastically and you're like, oh, I'm never going to put myself out there.
I am wildly out of my comfort zone doing this podcast, and it's been, I don't know, but it's been funny because I think most of my friends also recognize that, and they're like, what are you doing? And whereas I think your friends are quite,
it's not.
Finally, Lisa's doing a podcast.
Yeah, and I had to be finally people are listening to it, but I was you when we came out of the C word. Mm-hmm. I was you because my Instagram page when the
relationship.coaching.ni.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we now have an Instagram for Back to Me, which is very cool, and it saves me a lot because it's just one thing I have to. Because I can't be bored. Tedious. I don't do tedious.
No, we don't do tedious.
I don't do tedious. I don't do monotonous. I don't do tedious. I don't do minutiae.
Apart from these tedious podcasts that we keep doing.
I like these. These are fun. Yeah.
We're our biggest fans.
My husband says I have no time for minutiae. I cannot do minutiae. I have no time for it.
To what?
Like,
what's minutiae?
Minutiae, like the tiny silly things that make the world go round.
Minutiae.
Uh-huh. Now you're making me worry that I've used the wrong.
No, I
20 years of my life.
I just have not heard that word.
Minutia.
Minutia.
So he's like, Lisa, we have to do the minutia. We have to get it done, Lisa. It has to happen. That would mean me finding all my receipts.
Oh,
all that stuff. Just the life stuff, life admin that has to be done.
Life admin. That's a good word. Life admin.
Just
one day maybe we'll be rich enough to have people do it for us.
Exactly. Probably comes from
limiting beliefs from your childhood before you're 7.
Exactly.
And learning
that, the main thing is about that, and this will finish it, is that nobody else really cares.
I do feel like I am coming to that conclusion. No one else is thinking about me.
Would you like to do a little experiment on this?
Sure.
Okay. So
maybe.
So let's say you saw someone walking into this lovely area, and it had been raining, bucketing sideways rain in Northern Ireland, which is quite common. Not recently, but it's been beautiful. But anyway, quite common sideways rain in Northern Ireland. And they walked in here and they were wearing a pair of flip-flops. You would say, what an absolute twit wearing flip-flops that day. Okay?
It's probably my husband.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's my husband. Yeah. So exactly. So you'd look at them. What does that take? 5 seconds of your time to look at somebody and think something negative about them. Okay? If you track your thoughts, you will, within about 5 seconds, you will go to something like, where are my flip-flops? Do I have flip-flops? Do I need to buy new flip-flops? Oh, I saw those really expensive flip-flops. When this podcast really takes off, that's the first thing I'm going to buy myself. Yeah?
Yeah.
So if somebody is thinking about you, they're thinking about you for 5 seconds, and then they're back to thinking about themselves.
I like it.
And we give people such power and stop ourselves from living our fullest, biggest life for 5 seconds.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And there's quite a famous is Ireland famous called Jerry Hussey. His whole thing is you only have to be brave for 20 seconds. And then, just make that phone call, lift that thing, 20 seconds.
Jump off the harbour into the water.
Exactly. 20 seconds.
There was one time we were up in Port Stewart, which is north coast, and it has a harbour, and the kids love to jump off it into the sea in evenings. And my son persuaded me to go with him, and I am a 40-something-year-old
beautiful human
with apparently fears I didn't know I had. Because got the wetsuit on, it was just me and him.
That's the worst part.
Oh yeah,
I'd rather go in my swimsuit than a wetsuit.
In hindsight, yeah, but I got the wetsuit on. I stood at the side of the pier. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, didn't jump. 30 minutes later, I was still standing there, and I actually really couldn't believe this about myself. I couldn't do it. I was just, and my poor son, I think he had jumped in and out a few times, but he's very supportive, and he kept being like, we've got to do it now, you've got to do it now, you're never going to do it. And I did eventually do it.
Good.
And my Apple Watch, well, it popped off my arm and sank to the bottom of the harbour, which was quite deep at this time, the tide was in. And I am a decent swimmer, but I don't really like being underwater.
Could you even see? Could you see it? Could you actually see it?
So
I'd be getting the ferries to do that.
Well, I did get some ferries.
Ferries are people who help us with our life.
So you could sort of see it, but obviously it's choppy. It's the Irish Sea. My son at the time is 10, so he could swim down, but not that far. I am freaking out, thinking I need to be the adult here and do this, but I don't. I can't.
And you've no goggles or snorkel or...
No, actually, if we'd had... I feel like if I'd had goggles or something, it would have been a little bit easier. But there was this young couple, a guy and a girl that were doing canoeing or something. And they kind of went to go past us, and she had witnessed the 30 minutes of me trying to jump off the harbour. So she's like, you got in? And I'm like, yeah, I dropped my watch. So she actually got off to help and tried 4 or 5 times going down, couldn't get it.
And I have been in these situations, it's further away than it looks.
It's really far. It was starting to get cold, even with the wetsuits on. And she tried.
How much is this worth?
I know, but I really wanted my watch back. But yeah, I didn't know what to, I was so they had to go. They had to go on the way. They were out for obviously a nice little date night, and so off they went. And then this gang of teenagers that I know came now from Dungannon Royal School, who were actually my rival school growing up. So I shouldn't give them any compliments, but they were very nice. But first of all, I had that 40-year-old woman. I'm completely intimidated by these 15, 16-year-olds, which is really weird.
That's definitely limiting belief. That's definitely your parents have said. Mine too. Across the road, there's a group of youths across the road who, and now we're adults who were scared of youths.
It's such ridiculous, silly. So one of them was a lifeguard at her local, so she got in and she tried quite a few times. So this is how difficult it was. I was like, there was no way I was ever going to do this, and she couldn't get it either. And then one of the guys, who I think was maybe being a little bit bravado, I can do it.
We'll take bravado.
I could have hugged him. I've ruined the story, obviously now, but he tried a couple of times and he was literally going to give in, and we were deciding, okay, that's it. It's going to go. And he goes, I'll go one more time, and I got it.
Like all the good men say.
And he got it. Yeah. But all that to say...
Do not cut that out.
I'm not cutting that out. All that to say, it took me 30 minutes to jump off that because I was scared, and I can't remember how I even got there.
Because we didn't know we had.
Because we didn't know we had, yeah.
I'm still laughing at myself. It's very narcissistic, I think.
I know, I think it's me that's funny, and I realise you're just laughing at yourself.
Sorry. Sorry. So yeah, back to the limiting beliefs. I think it's narcissistic to laugh at yourself. I've clearly been told as a child, Lisa, don't make a fuss of yourself. You can't, don't laugh at yourself. You can't say that. It's all comes back to the childhood.
As a child, I used to tell jokes, which you may find surprising.
You precocious being.
So precocious. And then the lovely adults in the room would laugh at my joke.
Yes.
And then I would cry because they were laughing at me.
That's funny.
And they would do everything they could to be like, no, we're laughing with you. It's a joke. You're funny. But
that's a good one.
Is that not really weird? That wasn't my parents' fault. They were nothing but supportive in the...
And I would say now, you enjoy humour that is... Dark is too strong, but you enjoy an innuendo, which is why we're friends, obviously. But you also enjoy throwaway. And then I think about it afterwards, and I'm like, that was hilarious. That was actually really funny. Yeah. I saw Bridget Jones. I know I was late to the party seeing Bridget Jones.
I haven't seen it yet, so you were ahead of me.
No.
I've heard this one is really good.
I think I've missed the Bridget Jones baby one. I think I missed that.
Yeah, I think I did too. It's one of those ones I think I might need to watch the first 3 before I go.
You don't.
Oh.
It's very well done. Oh. It's very, very well done. My friend who I was with was laughing a little, and I was laughing a little, and then it just ramps it up. And talk about somebody who doesn't have any limiting beliefs. Oh my days. It was hilarious. Talk about, what was your one? Like, don't be too precocious, or don't be too much. Oh my days. It is. I was bent over in two. By the time the sad bits came,
sad bits?
There's a few sad bits. By the sad bits came, my tissue was soaked from the crying of the laughing. It was, so Emma Thompson is fabulous in it. Hugh Grant is fabulous in it. Really, really, really good.
Renee Zellweger is in it, right?
Renee Zellweger is in it. And I should have said, she's brilliant. But you know what else she is? She has the best skin.
Oh.
Beautiful, shiny skin.
Shiny skin good? I need to embrace this.
Smooth.
This shiny skin is shiny for different reasons. Dewy. We'd say dewy. The Americans would say dewy.
That sounds wrong.
Dewy.
Shiny skin.
Maybe better than dewy skin. I feel like that could get you into some trouble. Dewy, we're saying dewy.
So, which got me talking to my friend that she has lovely skin as well. And I was saying that Renee has beautiful skin, blah, blah, blah. And then we got onto face scraping.
Oh, is this with the knifey thing? Yes. With the fluffy hair that you see people... Mm-hmm. Have you done that? I've not done that.
It's coming today. I ordered it. Renee persuaded, well, I don't know if she does it. I'm sure she gets people to chemically peel her face because she's very rich.
Are we not meant to have hairs on our face?
Well, I won't have anything. They will be gone.
Oh.
And then I'll let you know.
Are you going to do it to yourself and get like Nigel to give you a shave?
I'm definitely doing it to myself. Don't make that a clip. I'm definitely doing it to myself. And I don't know, do you go with the grain? Do you go without the grain?
I hope there's instructions.
I'd like to hope there's instructions of a maybe video. I'll have to YouTube it.
You better YouTube it.
But
don't accidentally get your eyebrows. I get too excited. Take it all off.
That's true. But it's I think it's going to be very gratifying.
Satisfying?
Satisfying is better than gratifying. Because gratifying is one thing, satisfying is another.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
I think this
must be something. This thing that I do with my cup must be when I'm a little bit embarrassed, I think. I think I just got a little bit embarrassed there when I said gratifying instead of satisfying. There you go. That's it. So I will scrape away and I will send you pictures of Pretty because what comes off your face is disgusting. So don't worry, I will send you pictures.
Yes, do. Lucky me. You should just do it on a live. Your fans would love it.
Oh no, that's even too much for me. That's even too much for me. Even for me, that's too much. So it was very, very good. I highly recommend it. Yeah, very, very good.
Bridget Jones.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. Like nobody cares. So we were talking about the guy with the flip flops, who probably would be your husband. And
100% would be. There was like one little ray of sunshine a couple of weeks ago, and he was out in his shorts and his flip flops and loving his life.
He's in.
Oh, that's him now. Yes, that's it. The transition has happened. We will not be going back to trousers.
He has gone. Mm-hmm. I put my denim jacket on this morning because the sun is out. I'm a denim jacket girl in the springtime.
You put a jacket on in the summer?
You know, it's not quite, I'm not your husband, it's not quite there yet. It's definitely a jacket still, but I could say jacket on.
Oh, you transitioned to the lighter jacket?
Yes.
That is denim.
And less scarf.
Okay.
I do love a scarf. Put said jacket on. Now, I don't require my jackets to actually button or zip. Mm-hmm. But I require them to look like with these weapons of mass destruction. I don't actually require them to, but I require them to look like they could if there's an emergency situation. Yeah. It's not a thing. So this is not buttoning.
This jacket
is not buttoning. So if there's some week that I'm on here that I'm a little bit flat, it will be because I have been in a calorie deficit all week. I know. That's the habit.
Is that where you lose weight from first?
Unfortunately, not.
Unfortunately not.
No.
Well,
well, stomach, which I'm quite, this is really people nice. But yeah, no.
Mine goes straight from my boobs first. It's very irritating. When I want it to go from my chin. No, I want it to go from my tummy and my chin. It goes from my boobs. I'd much rather it went from...
No, mine will even go from my bum, which I do not have one off. So irritating. Sorry. Anyway, people, I'm sure it's very exciting for you all. When you see me in my denim jacket that doesn't button, you can have a laugh at me for 5 seconds and then you'll go back and think about yourself.
Yes, and I will just say I saw you in your denim jacket and thought you looked awesome, and it didn't even cross my mind. It would not go.
Because you probably thought to yourself, she looks awesome, that looks really cool. Hopefully you thought that. And then you thought, where's my denim jacket? Yeah. This is what jacket we're talking about. Nobody actually cares. You don't have a denim jacket.
I need a denim jacket, don't I? I've been thinking that. I'll get them vintage.
I have at least 3.
I have a leather jacket that definitely doesn't zip button.
But it's okay, as long as it looks like it could.
It looks like it could.
Like there's an emergency situation, it looks like it could.
It looks like it could.
Yeah, and that's why I wear all the scarves as well, because it just, looks like it could maybe button under those scarves. So, have you ever had have you ever had a spray tan?
Oh, that's a really good question. I have such a bad memory. I found a really awkward time moment, actually. Nice. I used to go to a girl to get my nails done, and we became friends just from going to the nail thing. And I was going on holiday, and she's like, "Oh, you need to do your tan in advance." And then she had me lay on the floor of her hallway while she tanned me up.
How did you? If the people aren't watching, making Kitty do something
it's like
weird.
Some kind of like train thing.
Tan, yeah.
She tanned me up
everywhere.
It was mortifying. Although I appreciated it, but I'm quite a little bit body conscious.
It's a lot.
It was a lot.
You're in their hallway.
But yeah, lying on my nail curls upstairs.
I have to know what the expression is.
Yeah.
No.
And I have self-tanned myself. I don't know if I've ever I don't think I've ever gone for a
spray tans. Same sort of mortification. Mortifying. Just mortification, that's not the right word for that.
I think that's the word. It's mortification.
It's mortification. And it's the, pick things up, move things around, mortification.
This always makes me think of Friends. I have a lot of Friends messages if it was Ross when he kept forgetting to turn around or did turn around. And it was
but it was great. We were going to Portugal for 4 nights. And we knew the weather was going to be nice, but it wasn't going to be that, you lay for an hour and a half and you got... Oh, yawning at me now.
I weren't meant to point that out.
She's actually yawning at me.
I was going to edit.
You know what the problem is? You're hungry.
I am I don't know if the mic's picking up. My tummy is rumbling.
And now you're yawning.
Is that what?
Well, I don't know. I'm just making that up. You believe me when I tell you these things. Anyway.
I don't believe you when you say anything. All right.
So I got the spray tan before going to Portugal, and it was a great job. Slightly embarrassing, all the things.
Is it like a person standing doing it?
It's freezing.
Oh.
It's freezing. You kind of stand in a wee tent.
Okay.
What was the... Oh, freezing.
Then freezing. You're naked. My tummy is rumbling.
I'm naked. It's freezing. And they're very good. They're like, do you want to take this off? Do you want to take that off? They're very bright. They're very professional ladies.
Do you think they are, though, when you leave? And this, I probably shouldn't put these thoughts into your head, but I always am like, someone, you want to get waxed or whatever and you leave. Do you think they're like, after you...
You ever hear that joke about the woman who went for a smear and she literally lifted a face cloth to, oh dear goodness me, this is somewhere interesting, to make sure everything was, and the child had taken their face paints off, the sparkly face paints off for the same face. Anyway, that's where we are today. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I am going to go with yes, I think that they just move on, because in my job, I hear some interesting stories sometimes, and when the next call comes, that's done. That's done. I mean, I'm on to the next call. When I would see the person again on the screen, hopefully in like a week or 2 weeks, it will all come flooding back. But
you're not flooding upon it.
I'm not. You really have to. Like, you can't. You can't. You just have
midwives.
Yeah. Gynecologists.
Oh, when you're like at the school gate and someone's like, I'm a midwife, and you're like, oh, I think I recognise you. This is not good.
Or somebody showed me they saw their gynecologist when they were bowling with their children. That is not what you want to see.
Anyway, so spray tan.
Spray tan. So that was very good. I highly recommend it for just going away for a few nights. So I don't know if I need to spray tan for the big holiday. I might just do my own fakey tan. Because when I do fake tan, I really only fake tan my extra, just from the elbows.
Your front arms and your back arms.
Elbows to, no, I've got my hands out. Elbows to hands, knees to feet.
My,
somebody needs to see more than that.
Needs to be. What if you... If you put like a swimsuit on, do you just
that's like promise to, like in Northern Ireland, like of the times that you actually are wearing, apart from your husband, like we're actually wearing shorts that actually need to be fake tan above the knees. Rare.
Yes, this is true.
Knees to toes, elbows to fingers.
I think there's a song in this. My son's primary school has sent out a letter this week to tell us that their children, the jewellery and makeup policy, which I feel was maybe aimed more at the girls than the boys. But it was, one of the things was that they can't wear fake tan. And I'm like, under 10-year-olds are putting on fake tan?
Oh, I thought this was big school. This is wee school.
So it was, they've had issues with nails, fake nails, makeup, fake eyelashes and fake tan. And so they were saying that their policy is that you're not meant
all the mothers that let their daughters do this are now no longer gay.
Sorry. No, and I'm not judging them. I'm like...
I think I let my girls get like gel nails when we were on holiday once, when they're probably in primary, but like it was their summer holidays.
Yeah, I'm a boy mum, so this is all just foreign to me. That I'm not judging the girls or the parents. I'm just like,
it's money too.
Is where we're at there now, that 10-year-olds want to wear makeup? That's just...
No, yes we are, but no. there's no need for that.
I was made to be a boy mum. That's all
Absolutely
this
no need
is.
for that. Absolutely no need for that. Absolutely no need. No. I thought it was big school.
No.
Wee school.
Primary school. No big time. But I actually am curious to see how the school will deal if...
Or did they not send them home?
You can't send them home.
I also, was it on the news? Where did I hear it? Watch a reel about it. That children are going to school now not potty trained.
Really?
Yeah. So they're sending them home.
They have to.
They have to. That you can't be doing that. Have we covered everything on my little sheet, Kitty? That's the writing.
She's holding the sheet up. People can see your sheet.
I'll hide it behind this
I'm
couple.
going to get you nice sheets with at least something nice on the back.
What you've said to your child, did that one. I've one here I can't read.
This is what she makes notes and then she can't read her own handwriting. Let me see if I can.
Bridget Jones, face scraping, we're fake tan.
This is the one you can't read. Apple cider vinegar. How did you spell apple? This is why it's not her handwriting. I don't want to tease you because you have limited beliefs or you talk about this. But it looks like a Appel
definitely more
Sidness.
That looks like ringer at the end or something.
Ringer could be ringer,
but let's put a pause on that. That's for next time because I'll have watched more of it by then.
Okay, apple cider vinegar. I've seen it all. I've finished Netflix, as you know.
Claim to fame. I finished
Netflix. It was wild over COVID because I really did finish it. And I was like, what are we going to watch now?
Possibly.
I finished it. Yeah,
that's where I'm on this now.
We're going to find things that I haven't seen.
Find. Well, Brene Brown,
it'll be by choice.
Brene Brown Netflix.
It's by choice. There are obviously things
that
I haven't watched because by choice I finished everything that Netflix has for me.
That's much better.
Yes,
much better.
She has a Netflix
next time. Apple cider
vinegar next time, which is a warning to us. It's influences, which we are now not. You are an influencer.
It's a bit scary.
It's about the power of influences over people's lives.
And fake influencers.
Yes. Well, she's a real influencer with fake advice because she was influencing.
This brings me to when this all started, my children, I said, somebody's shouting me out. And my children said, oh, it's an influencer. And I said, what is she influencing? And they said, people to follow you. And I said, okay, that's fine.
That's a good influence.
That's a good influencer. I do not think of myself as an influencer.
I think if you have some kind of fame on the
there we go.
social
on one night.
No, in the social media world, that's what it is.
Okay.
If you're saying something that people find helpful and it influences their life, does that not make you an influencer?
I would say that I definitely say things, and even people do message me very cute to say, Lisa, you said this thing, or you watched this reel, and it has literally changed my marriage.
You are an influencer.
Thank you very much. Shirley and I are going to go and digest that.
Okay. And we're done.